wrote many years ago, and it's basically about Vimy. I wrote it after reading a book on the subject. So, last night while I lay sleeping, I had the strangest dream. A soldier stood before me in a uniform pressed and clean. The silver from his hat badge slightly glinted in the dark. There was a glow around him as he beckoned to me, "Hark." He whispered softly in the night a story about the war and how his father was a soldier, like his father gone before. He said his daddy went away when he was barely 3, and how his daddy picked him up and sat him on his knee. He said, "Now son, I'll need your help to watch you, little brother. Although I may seem far away, I'm right here beside your mother. So do the things she asks you to, and you'll grow to be a man." And he softly kissed me on my head and stood and shook my hand. Then he hugged my little brother and he told him to be good. And when he held my mother tight, somehow I understood. So I did the things my father asked, and as the years went by, I knew he wasn't coming back. And here's the reason why. One day a worn-out letter came from a man who knew my dad. The words I read hung in my throat, for the news was very sad. I've kept that very letter, for it helps to make me strong, and it fortifies my courage when I need to right a wrong. I read how men were fighting in the fields and in the towns. Some died crawling the trenches. Still others were mowed down by bullets from machine guns, by mortars and by tanks. Some hung up on the barbed wire. Others died on riverbanks. Lungs exploded from the clouds of gas. The cold killed many more. Men starved for food and for strength as they trudged along the shore. The air was black as soot with smoke, the ground a sea of mud, and everywhere you walked or called nearly buried you in crud. The endless miles of mangled cable crisscrossed barren land, and a sea of boots and rifle barrels protruded from the sand. Men hunkered down in ditches with shrapnel whizzing past, rats in every mire-filled trench, not bothered by the blast. Bombs and bullets gone astray, one hits the church's spire. Soldiers running to and fro, blinded by the flash and fire. Water soaks you to your skin, your life is caked in mud. Then the silent air is shattered by a scream and then a flood. Your feet are sore and swollen and aching from the pain. No sleep or peace for you tonight as you feel your spirit drain. Your skin's alive with crawling lice with no refuge anywhere. So alone in silent desperation, you kneel and say a prayer. For the fighting to be over, for the world to turn around, and bring a brighter day at dawn and stop the rumbling sound of tanks and bombs and bullets and airplanes cracking sky, of missiles and of rockets, and the whiz-bangs splitting cry. Then through the dust I saw a soldier coming up the trail. His face was gaunt and hollow, and his body looking frail. He took a step along the road, and then suddenly it blew. And mine went undetected by the sweepers and his crew. It threw him high into the air. His rifle made no sound. It wasn't much to recognize when his body hit the ground. His helmet landed at my feet, his boots there on the hill. His body moved an inch or two, and then it lay there, still. For him the war is over, but the rest must push on towards the ridge at Vimy and points not far beyond. All at once, the enemy's in retreat. We finally gained the ground, and the tears they cried for victory broke through every other sound. And suddenly it struck me, the battle cries had stopped, and the soldiers all around me had cheered until they dropped. Be thankful to those soldiers who for freedom stood and fought, and all those crosses on the hills mark each hero's sacred spot. Where battle-weary soldiers barely fought before they died, the poppies still bloom row on row from the blood those soldiers cried. The echo of those voices lost, for some may never cease, but battlefield in silence sits until someone threatens peace. And such a threat was made again, and our young men went to fight in soul-stained battlefields of yore, where someone dimmed the light on freedom and democracy with its justice for one and all. So again they suited up for war to heed their country's call. Now history does repeat itself. When will they finally see? We need liberty and equality for the whole world to be free. No segregation of religion or of color, caste, or creed, where we can be one united earth, where no one needs to lead. As his prophetic words fell on me, I just couldn't help but weep, and the tear that rolled down my face woke me from my sleep. As I struggled for the bedside lamp, the room was still and stark, and just as darkness fled the room, I thought I heard a lark. I believe that soldier was an angel sent down from heaven's shore to finally have his story heard and to echo thousands more. It's time we finally listened and re-acknowledged our own fate. It's time to wage war on ourselves to erase the fear and hate. Thank you for your time.